Welcome to the happiest stream on earth. You might be able to guess by my previous statements and, the context of the consequences of my own choices, but I'm not the happiest camper lately. I'm really disappointed with Games Workshop deciding to phase out Firstborn Marines, which is, I guess, now what they're doing, and all my guys except maybe the Rhino could be considered Firstborn. That thing's probably going to go too, for all I know. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna go fucking play competitively with this shit. I have less than 1,000 points of Marines. These guys aren't gonna go anywhere. But regardless, I'm not a huge fan of, getting back into the hobby only to be told that, hey, by the way, you're gonna have to replace 80% of your army because people may not want to play with you anymore. This fucking sucks, man. I don't know. Not pleased. A shitty kitty am I. I'm gonna paint these guys anyway, fuck it. What is this fucking helmet this guy's got? I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna have to go look that up. That's not any of the helmets I know. That's just random fuck helmet. It's not a Beaky. It's not a Mark 7. It's not a Mark 4. And it's definitely not a Mark 5. That's so weird. I never noticed that guy before. Yeah, I mean, look at these guys, man. See, I should have gone with my gut. This is listen to me. If you want to play these fucking model games, I implore you, go with your gut. Go with what you want to do. Back in 2012 or whenever the hell I started this shit, I wanted to do demons. That was what I wanted to do. I wanted to play with demons. I wanted to do chaos stuff. I wanted to praise Nero's powers, all that malarkey bullshit. And I really always loved how you could just customize, even in 6th back in the day, you could customize your Marines to be whatever you wanted them to be, your own individual little guys, a bunch of just really cool ideas. But no, I let myself get suckered into a fucking Ultramarine army because it was a box kit, and I was told that would be the best way to get started in the game. Well, look at me now, folks. No chaos. Stuck with a bunch of Marines that are probably going to get phased out here soon. And what the fuck is this? Please, if you've been following along with me painting this shit, let me know, what the hell is this dreadnought? Is this a venerated dreadnought? Is that what they call this now? Is this just a dreadnought? Is this thing legacy? I don't know, man. I don't know. Because they keep phasing out these dreadnoughts, but they're named dreadnoughts, except I don't know if this thing's named or not. It's the oldest damn dreadnought in the fucking game right now. I know that for sure. It's the old box guy. And everyone keeps talking about how unfortunate it is that, they're getting rid of the old box guy, and here he is. So is he gone or not? I should have kept these guys chaos. That was such a mistake on my part. Can't believe I wasted $4 and this much time painting these guys up just for them to get phased out. And the scummy thing, I know they're gonna do this. I know Games Workshop is going to say, oh, the Chaos Marines also aren't using the Firstborn anymore. They have their own demonkin possessed chosen Marines. Like, they're going to figure out a way to fucking weasel people out of all of their old models. That's what they're doing right now. They're weaseling and nickeling and diming people. And I don't care. I'm not going to go and replace these guys with Primaris Marines. You know what's going to happen? I'm going to paint these little fuckers up, stick them in a box, and then put them back in the basement. And when my son eventually digs through and discovers them, I'm going to sit him down and teach him how to play fucking 9th edition or 8th edition before they pulled this bullshit. And if he really digs it, we might go to fucking model shop or hobby shop or wherever. He'll get himself a box of his own little models, and we will just play with whatever's going on. But yeah, I don't know. It's disappointing. And I was really I was getting into it, man. I was feeling it. I was seriously considering picking up a box of Chaos Marines, and now I'm not even thinking doing that anymore, because God knows they might just phase out of existence. I almost got a fucking kill box, the Chaos Marine kill team, because it had the Balefire Tome, and I really dug that thing, and the chain gun, and hey, guess what now? They both kind of suck. Amazing. I dodged a bullet. So how many more what am I gonna do? Am I gonna dodge more? I think it's sucking me out of $200 again. Anyway. Yeah, let's paint some models. I think that's all I've got in me. I'm really not seeing a whole lot of difference between the McCraggy and Ultramarine. It's not nearly as prominent as I thought it'd be. This guy, I don't know what happened to this guy. He came out kind of almost scummy. I'm going to keep him, but I don't know. I think I need to mix this a little bit better. I don't know. I'm not pleased with the way the game's going. I don't like that they keep forcing obsolescence in models that have been around for 20 years. If your fan base has been dedicated enough for all of this time to still have models from when you were just starting out 10, 20, 30 years ago, drop them a fucking rule list or data sheet, just update it. I think this guy's already painted, actually. It is kind of hard to tell. Some of it's not even that fucking hard. The Rebel Militia weapon teams, they don't even need any different... It used to be, before they got really stupid, is 6th or 8th, I don't remember. I don't know if there's a whole lot of difference, honestly. The Imperial Guard was the Renegade Militia Guard. It was the same information for both sides. You would just switch what they would, who they're allied to. That was it. It was something as simple as the unit is exact same on both sides. It just matters whose side the army is being fielded on, chaos or loyal. And that was a really easy way of handling that. And Like, don't get me wrong, I like the abilities. I like how every model or every unit can kind of have its own unique niche. No, that's pretty nice. That's pretty cool. Fucking German. Oh my God. God, I'm losing my train of thought because of him. Like, it's not hard to keep a data sheet up to date for some of these guys, you know? And that's really all it takes to keep them in the game. It's just a few numbers, a couple lines, a little bit of fluff, and you're golden, you know? But we all know what's going on. They just want people to go back and rebuy their old armies. Again, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to buy... These are the last Marines I'm ever going to own, all right? That's it. Never again. And I had this big Ponzi scheme to, like, finally trick this out into 1,000-point army. I might even do that. May not even do that. Because, again, what's the fucking point? Like, these Terminators may even be phased out, because apparently there's new Terminators or something, or, like, different models of Terminators. I need to get this garbage read off. I don't know how either. Let me try Baby Wipe real fast. A piece of napkin. I'll be right back and get some more stuff. Okay. I got some more bushes too. So. Where's this backpack at? How did this fall off? All right, let's try this first, because this thing was probably the most grievous victim of this gross paint. Might have to just go with some fucking rubbing alcohol. I don't know. Guess we'll just let this guy sit for a minute and see if it does anything. If it didn't congeal so terribly, I would just paint over it. I gotta get this off. I don't know. Not sure this is working or not. Let's just paint. Okay, trying out this pure red. Another army paints red. Looks like it's a little. Try that again. Okay, who are we painting? See, it's also just...
Let's get this started here. And we'll get even, I don't care. We're good. Somebody died? Yeah, one red died. That's okay. Just the gas again. I can't. Oh, I can go down. Wait. I'm gonna go. Go fall.
See, I don't know about that.
I want everybody to come.
Let's try it on this guy, since he's out with us.
You know.
And that's really thin.
You go around like Twitch. And you, like, what's this streamer's chat doing? Having a conversation about stuff. And when you're like, oh yeah, let's talk about what's happening in the game. Oh yeah, make sure you get 2 purples, 15 reds, and the blue's coming up soon. That's what you know. And take a look at that. Hey dude, like, hey, what are you up to lately? Have you been doing something fun? What did you do last weekend? No. No, here I look over at the chat and I just see in all capitals. Heal farts. Heal farting. Farting is a fuel. He's farting, I can tell. Don't put your mic in your ass so we can tell if you're farting or not. That's a real one I read. Put a mic onto your, like, asshole.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just kind of gross looking. Not a huge fan of it.
That's what I have to read.
Definitely a lighter shade, that's for sure. There, that's a good goop.
What's that? Sounding my metal detectors are reacting violently. What could be down below?
Yeah, there we go. There's a nice coat.
What's down here? This gas and fire. No, I said my piece. It really helped me a lot. All jokes aside. It did a lot of good for me. It really did. That's the honest to God truth. Ooh, this is cool. Watch out. Alright, now pick it up. Bring it back to the ship. Consume it for long. How many calories are in one? 400. 400 calories. And you know, what was that? Somebody brought up, somebody said, to talk about sugar. There's 5 grams of sugar in the bottle. Or in one serving. You get like powder. Only 5 grams of sugar. Some of you guys are drinking like a fucking Mountain Dew right now, and it's like 40. So just to let you know. Mountain Dew is 60 what? No, it's not. What? Mountain Dew is 63 grams of sugar in a bottle? In just like a 16-ounce bottle? No, it's not. I thought it was like 39 or like 43 or something. It's 63 grams of sugar. That's unfucking believable. A Coke is what, 38, 37? What? Why is it that much?
As if I needed any more motivation, I probably am gonna look towards getting a couple models from a different game line next.
Once you cross a certain threshold of sugar in a drink, you can't even
Bolt action would be a fun one to try.
After like 30 to 40 grams of sugar, can you even tell that it's 60 instead of 40? I can't. It's 46. Oh. I have an experiment for all you can do. If you drink coffee and you put, milk or cream and sugar in your coffee or something, you get just a regular from, I'm going to use Dunkin' Donuts as an example, right? Or even Starbucks, whatever. Doesn't matter. Just getting it normal, just with cream and sugar at any of this, at one of these random places that just a big coffee shop. Start doing half sugar. Be like, oh yeah, I'll take a regular iced coffee, but can you do half the sugar you put in? I bet you won't even tell the difference. From 50% to 100%. I started doing that and I couldn't tell. I actually could not tell the difference.
Doesn't look terrible, I think.
And what you're doing is you are reducing the amount of sugar you're taking in every day, which, let's be honest, is really not that great for you. It really isn't. And you can't even tell.
Okay. A little bit of color on that guy.
It's based and healthy. They're ignoring you and putting in regular sugar. They're not.
Okay.
They just didn't even change it. Yeah, okay, half sugar, okay. Nope, not doing that. That's not true. I've seen people make
Try to do that neat thing they do
that's fire.
where they have a red stripe on white. Kind of indicate like this is a veteran in charge.
I've seen him do it.
The hand's very shaky from
Well, they have pumps, right?
mowing and
And they take your coffee over.
cutting trees down for 4 hours, so gonna have to bear with me. Gonna have to redo his fucking, I don't know. Should I go up the fuck? Should I go up the hair?
You can specifically ask for like one pump.
I don't think I'm gonna go up the hair.
Start doing that. I'm serious.
And just a very dry brush over the glossy garbage.
I am on fire. There they are. You can't hurt them. They're fire. A generous 12 pumps. And I have nothing to tell you. Oh, he's got more to tell us. Oh, okay. Watch out. That's a diamond over there. If you are asking for extra cream and extra sugar in your coffee, you're eating a cake. Just go eat a cake. Go order a cake at like a bakery and eat the cake. You cut back on that. That's a law. Extra cream, extra sugar is just a cookie. You distribute it. No, of course not. I wonder what like extra cream, extra sugar at like a Starbucks or a Dunkin' Donuts. I wonder what that actually is. How much is what is the actual big milliliters of cream and sugar? So. And then how much like cream and sugar goes into making a whole cake? I'd be interested to know. Did they get this?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go cover that back over and I don't know.
Is he dead?
I don't know, man. This just looks terrible.
They get it. Sacrifice 5 red. Were they walking? Oh, they got it. They got it. This green, you really wanted.
Okay. I think I'm gonna take the heads white for Terminators. I really like that aesthetic. It's a cool vibe.
Incredible. A white Pikmin. It's tiny with a swift. Its eyes are an unseemingly red. This type of Pikmin was not mentioned in your notes, Omar. Must be an entirely new type of Pikmin. Our data record on this type is a blank page since a certain captain never documented them. You must experiment and make detailed observations for the benefit of future generations. So mega lol in Reddit. Kind of is the Reddit Pikmin, isn't it? Oh, why can't I? Go in? I just put 3. It was a waste, was it?
That's gonna bug me.
Louie, get up here and have this photo.
And apparently there was a time when these were iron halos here.
15.
And they actually had an effect of some kind. Shame that doesn't seem to be the case anymore.
What is in here? What is it now? Perfect. Ooh, interesting. Hey. Amazing. The white Pikmin has unearthed a treasure that was completely buried in the ground. Perhaps those beady red eyes of theirs allow them to sense objects buried in the dirt. Hooray! How thick is this tape? Alright, this is a joke how thick this is. Everybody get on it. We'll keep looking. Oh! Break up! No, don't all, only red Pikmin strength that. You have to share with everybody else. Share it! Share it with everybody else. What the hell? Greedy. Too greedy. $80. Super stick textile. Cool. I like it. That's it for this floor. Let's see everybody else. Follow me. We have the whole crew. Whole crew? That's right. That's you guys. You are the true crew. Was it February? Alright, so in June, I don't know if you said that before.
So one thing that intrigued me, I was watching a battle report, and it was Death Guard versus, I think, Imperial Knights. And Death Guard are presently considered to be very poor for an army. Just with rules and the fact they aren't as tough as they used to be, and how that really used to safeguard a lot of the more melee and anti-infantry focus now is not really taking them that far. But even with that, surprisingly, they seem to be doing okay against the Imperial Knights, which is a pretty good faction right now. A lot of people using them in tournaments and competitively. So I actually wouldn't mind giving the Death Guard a shake. I kind of like these guys are almost exclusively anti-infantry with all their stuff, and they still manage to hold their own against these 40-foot off robots and shit. I'm not the biggest fan of Nurgle fluff-wise, but if you're gonna play demons, but you're like apprehensive about how seemingly limited they are to the Shadow of the Warp and the fact that they really rely on Battle Shock to work effectively for a lot of their stuff. Nurgles, like the Plague Bearers and Nurglings, they have the most board control for their abilities, and that's really good if you're trying to figure out just how demons work. You know, like the Zinch, they shoot Slanesh and Khorne, they fight, but Nurgle is about controlling. So you've got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff gives extra CP. A lot of stuff manipulates your control of objectives, which is really important for Shadows of the Warp. Quite a few things just give out Battle Shock more than others. So yeah, that's my recommendation anyway. So I'm going to paint this guy in his weird helmet. But I kind of wanted to try going without a primer. Let's just see what happens if I go only white. Unfortunately, I think these guys actually have the gross primer shit on them already. You can kind of see that's why it looks slightly shinier than he should be. I've also watched some Horus Heresy, and Not only does that look like a lot of fun, I really like the World Eater's Loyalist paint scheme. So yeah, I wouldn't mind giving that a try. The the damn boxes are super cheap, and I wonder if this has something to do with why the firstborns are getting phased out. Is like you get it's I think double the value for near the same price on those tactical squad boxes, and you get the various like armor kinds and all that stuff, and it's really cool to see.
It's a fucking bird from Donkey Kong. Run.
Oh Jesus, that's horrifying.
The red liquid you see contains refined ultra spicy essence. One drop contains one dose. Press 2 to spray this extract on your entire group. Have you tried it yet? I have not, but I will in just a second. Spray! Spray it! I spray it!
And of course, obviously, the whole well, you can use these in your 40k armies. Can go out the fucking window once the firstborn completely phased out. Which again is a real goddamn shame, because compatibility between games is a huge selling point, especially like to me and my broke ass. And I can't really afford to go out and drop 1,000 points on a niche army that has no contemporaries. It's one of the reasons why I like Demons so much, is you can just go and play Fantasy or Age of Sigma or whatever, Necromunda or Kill Team with them.
What is the sound the Wiimote is making? What's the sound? Why is my Wiimote calling me? Well done. Captain Olimar, you defeated that freakish half-bird, half-serpent hybrid. Oh no, don't tell me that treasure was ingested by the beast, wasn't it? I think we're gonna turn this off. I'm gonna go over the settings and just turn off the Wiimote being able to make noise. Very cool.
Something insane, and I really don't understand where this is coming from. I want to go play Phantom Pain again for some reason. Like, I always want to play Castlevania, especially Circle of the Moon, because it was a game that I grew up with, like especially in late summer, beginning of fall. So when October hits, it's spooky season, so it's the perfect time to bust out the Vanias. But I always I have this phase of really wanting to do Phantom Pain, and then getting so pissed off at it that I don't want to look at it for years on end, and then saying, oh, hey, Phantom Pain sounds fun, but I don't know. I feel like that game's kind of been done to death already. Like, when it first came out, people did the silly shit with the box and the fucking pictures and airstrikes and all that crap, and now people are mostly just modding it and changing up the cutscenes to make it silly, and I feel like there's nothing I can really contribute to kind of make that more of a fun game to watch. Like, I can try and be less of a dumb fuck
actually get a copy of it.
from the first time I did it, which is like the fifth time for me.
And I'm gonna say this again. That would be
I'm just really bad at the game, honest to God. Like,
if I did.
I feel bad for how much I relied on certain things.
First party Nintendo game you want me to emulate and be like, I'm emulating first party Nintendo game. What do I care? Alerts go off at Nintendo headquarters.
Like, I relied on the silenced trank gun, trank pistol too much. I relied too much on rocket-propelled grenades and the magazine to distract enemies. Customized guns made the game too easy.
Everyone does it. I don't care if the Queen of England does it.
So I could try and do like, I don't know. The game just gets way too fucking easy if you go full ham in the in customization. Like, there's maybe two, maybe three missions where some of the excessive amount of stuff that you can bring in is kind of justified, like a tank or having Pequod fully armored and equipped with missiles and shit. Like, maybe that last quiet mission where you have to fight the armored battalion coming in. And then there's like maybe one other one, I think. But like, it's a stealth game, and I've never actually played it as a stealth game. I've always played it as like a run and gun. Like, if I get caught, I can run off into a sandstorm and hide somewhere until the enemy calms down, and then go back in and like try again. Or I run off and I start RPGing people outside their fucking outside their aggro range, because I guess it's kind of an exploit that they don't immediately like go to DEFCON 1 when there's an explosion. They just kind of like are confused, and that's a super easy thing to cheese, and you can just sit there and pop RPGs off at them until they're all dead, or grenades or something, and that's just not particularly fair. This looks pretty good for not being primed with black. Let him dry off. It's not terrible. Oh, my fucking... Ow. Glasses are bugging me today for some reason. And there's also just like, there's parts of that game I just really don't want to go back and experience it would be the sixth time. Like the opening cutscenes, the fucking hospital montage, the whole opening part there, going to get Miller, like all of that I've done to death. And I just don't feel like doing it again, so I don't know. I'm on the fence. And it's not like I'm short of things to do right now, you know? I've got more than enough shit that I'm streaming or doing or playing that does not require me to go back in and delete my save of a kind of bullshit game. I'm not even sure how I'd actually get a new game started anyway. I don't think it had an option for that. So this isn't terrible. I wonder if priming black or priming white wasn't just like a holdover from back when these were still pewter cast instead of rosin. It's really not looking terrible at all, honestly. Like, there's some things like the skulls on those two. The black really helped make it pop out, but if you're not really caring about that minute detail, probably just skip it, honestly. Like, I doubt anyone's going to walk up to the table while I'm setting up and grab these 3 particular Marines that I'm painting and say, oh, I don't know, this one looks kind of shit. That strikes me as something that would not actually happen.
What can I do in the meantime? I can do anything in the meantime. Please look at a pigment idle animation. I'm begging you. Okay. Hold C. No. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Get over here. You're fine. Okay. I can't do anything. Dismiss it and then watch. Please sit down.
That's cute.
That's such important advice. You can see that. Okay. And Olimar, walk in here. We can kill that guy. All right, let's kill that thing. Oh no, we can't. No. We get it? Yes. All right, let's get in here. Get the glove. All right. What did you guys say? What did you guys say? No, not even going to address it. Fascinating. This object is highly similar to one you found in the Valley of Repose. By examining this further, I may be able to extrapolate new planetary data. Oh, excuse me, fight. Good. Well off. All right, we're gonna have a lot of things to take here. We have take his face. We take the glow. Get that. Nice. Everybody on it? Bring it here. Here we go. Cool. We got a head. Get that. Where's Louis? Oh, he's right here. Nice. Okay, good. Bring it. There's a log there. There's another thing over here, isn't there? Ooh. Cannot go over here yet. This is like a Metroid. You have to get the right picture to come back. You go back to the all levels and Metroidvania. I'm sorry. I will apologize for that one. I'm sorry. That one deserves an apology. know how to do it. I'm a bird. You know what to do. You just have to call for me, and I will call you. I will do it. I was looking for somebody to write this, that, doy, doy, doy in chat, and I just did it. Please do this scrumptious cake. I've said that so many times. Just go back to one of the times I said it.
I like these guys because this kind of like this demonstrates a point. Because these were like new. These were new Marines in I think 6th edition. They were kind of beginning to realize like people just weren't going for the firing the giant 75 caliber rocket gun, gyrojet guns from the hip, you know, and all this like very 40K stuff with the Ultramarines or with the Space Marines. So I started tacticalizing them. I think that's when the term Tactical Marine Squad started coming up, and they started like treating these guys like real Earth soldiers, like today modern soldiers, instead of, you know, fucking intergalactic space conquerors from 40 odd thousand years in the future. Like, I don't know. And that's kind of where the Primaris Marines are now. Like, they have bolt rifles where the barrel's longer, or they have heavy bolt rifles, or they have all this like this dumb shit. It was like maybe they stopped worrying about doing things like treating these guns like rifles because they're not rifles, because they have a million things that they can do that rifles can't do. You know, it's like you don't need. They have these fucking blue assholes act like human soldiers, you know? Like that, honest to God, I'm looking back now, living through the early 2000s, this whole obsession with like tactical equipment and operations and operators and like all this bullshit. The Call of Duty stuff really did a huge number on a lot of different fandoms, like especially the firearms industry. Like, my God, every fucking gun is still a fucking black 9mm pistol, and we're going to be having that for like another 30 years before anyone dares to be slightly innovative. Like, even if we make it 30 years at this point, I don't know. But like, here you can feel it as well. Video games, you feel it like, I don't know. It was a waste of everything. Like, I honestly think, you know, it's like the same with Starship Troopers, you know? You had these guys in these massive power armor suits, like, maybe charging up the enemy and being audacious and having unit coherency is like a good thing, you know? Maybe the fact that these guys are willing to get right up in your face and start hosing down your formation or your fortification is enough of an indication that you're fucked 7 ways from Sunday, and maybe they don't need a fucking infantry fighting vehicle to shoot out of. Like, the thing, why are these fucking guys in the Rhino or in the tanks still in their armor? Like, these are 7-foot surgically enhanced super soldiers, Ubermensch, basically. Why the fuck are they still in their battle? Because obviously it doesn't help. Like, the main reason you would have them in their tactical battle armor is to, one, keep them connected to everything, and two, keep them safe when the tank gets hit and penetrated. And obviously that doesn't work because whenever the tanks die, the crew goes with them. You know, you never get the crew to disembark. So what the fuck is the point? And like, as far as like interfacing with like communications and senses and shit, like the tank can do that. The tank is the thing right now on the modern battlefield that is capable of doing that. They're able to carry radios and communication equipment and sat-nav shit and all of that stuff. So the crew doesn't really need to be. It's kind of fucking silly to see a space marine flying around in a fucking gunship still in his armor. Like, that's fucking absurd. But you know what? If it's metal as fuck, fine, keep them. I'd rather have Marines on bikes with power fists and Marines sitting in a fucking attack helicopter or whatever the fuck the Valkyrie is or whatever that thing is than Primaris Marines and their inane nonsense that somehow the sensibilities of the 22nd millennium are in any way applicable to the 42nd, you know? Or not even like the 2.2 second millennium.
When I turned around, Louis gave me a cold stare. What I hear is slow. Okay, well I have new I'm going back to the first zone. Think it's going to take something up maybe?
Like, I've always thought that the reapplication of contemporary sensibilities to old material, old intellectual properties has always been like the worst thing you can do. Not just to like respect the original source material or like the original intention of the materials that you're altering, but like eventually your modern day sensibilities and contemporary ideas will become trite and so bog standard that people are sick of looking at them. And then suddenly you've got your game that has been completely reimagining itself around these things, reeling with the fact that your audience or your player base or whatever no longer wants to look at them and drops it like a sack of potatoes, you know? And at the same vein, because they are so sick of those modern day contemporary ideas, that they go back to the old and look for some things that are retro or things that they have a nostalgia for because they came from a different time with different ideas and therefore seem simpler. Suddenly they're going back to the old rules of and the old models in your games, and you're left reeling because you just discontinued all that shit for the very same purpose because you thought it was trite and you thought it wasn't selling well. And whoops, you missed the bus. And that's like, specifically, that's how I feel with all this tactical nonsense with the new Primaris Marines, is they're missing the bus pretty heavily. Like, that whole tactical nonsense was really big in like the early to mid 2000s. And we're kind of getting back towards a time when like that is becoming nostalgic for my generation. Like, we want to watch The Matrix and dress in the shitty leather and look like we just came from a fucking industrial EDM concert or rave or whatever the fuck, and like slowly we're gonna get back into that whole idea of tactical is cool, because it's retro again. But as of right now, I feel like they're either a few years early on it and they're not going to feel that for a while yet, or they're like a decade short and missed the boat.